Hey everyone, welcome back to Carrots and Olives. My name is Brittany. It's been a while since I've had a purchase from Atlas Stationery, so I'm excited to open up this box. I had a huge impulse to get this item. Let's say there are a couple of items, the other items I did have in my cart for a while, and this one just made me go for it. So let's check it out. So we get their famous card. It says thanks. And we have 3 things. So I decided to get a couple of inks because I guess you could say I'm an ink fiend. I ended up getting Wearing Gold 3 Musketeers because I am obsessed with green ink. I think I've always enjoyed the color green, but as I am getting older, I feel like majority of the green colors on the spectrum or in ink form are dark and they're legible, and you can really get some interesting shading in green. You can do that with many other colors, but blue is my top favorite color. However, I've been in the fountain pen community for many years now and using fountain pens and inks, and for some reason blue is it's a little boring now, so I'm leaning more towards green. And I've always enjoyed brown, but I haven't been using brown for many years. When I first started in this fountain pen journey, I had a lot of browns because I felt like the brown colors were really popular. People talked about brown inks more often than they do now, generally speaking. So anyway, I found this. I think the name kind of got me as well. It says Raisin. I don't know. I think it's gonna be a nice brown. It's also from Lennon Toolbar. I love their inks as well because they have really good shading inks. So I'm excited about these two. And then I got this. Oh, by the way, this thing is awesome. I got it from a Moy shop in Philadelphia, and I haven't lost it because it's magnetic, so it kind of sticks to a lot of things on my desk and the stand I'm using. And so even though it can be quite small, I've been using it constantly for the past year. I love it. It's so easy. And it made, cutting boxes down for Christmas and things like that so easy. So what is this? I was watching YouTube, as I typically do. I don't watch YouTube as much anymore as I used to, which has helped with keeping my purchases more contained this year and last year. But I just happened to watch YouTube and someone was talking about this pen and I was like, I gotta get it. I will say I had been looking for another one of these in a different nib size. However, it just was in the back of my head and, you kind of forget about it until someone brings it up again. This particular one is not something I was thinking about. However, I'm excited. I'm excited for it. So, it's a Lamy. Ta-da! Ooh, oh my. Okay. So I'm a little bit nervous about the weight, but it's not like insanely heavy. It does have some weight to it. Let's see. Nothing more in here. So this is the Lamy 2000 in steel, and I got it in an extra fine. Lamy doesn't have too many color options. They did release a green, like a forest green pen recently as a limited edition. However, that pen has a very high price tag just because it's a limited edition. And this one, even though it's heavier and is usually more expensive than the traditional Macrolon in the black, it's still less than the new one, so anyway, what I'm saying is I wanted one. They don't come out with new colors very often, but this is one I don't have, and I really wanted a different nib size, smaller nib size, because Lamy tends to write a lot thicker. So this does have some weight, similar to a Kaweco brass pen. It's shiny. It seems like it's very slick, so that's going to be interesting when writing. It has Lamy on, there we go, on the back of the cap. And if you press here, an easy lift of your clip. Kind of makes a noise too. Interesting. And then here you go. Very simple. I mean, I probably should turn off the light because the glare makes it look odd. But it's a silver color. And it's a piston fill. So very sleek. I am excited about this nib. I hope it writes good. Now, what am I going to ink it with? That is the question. So I have some of my inking tools that I wanted to use. Oh, here we go. So here's the Kakimori nib. And it kind of has that like extra weight similar to this. It's a little bit heavier because there's more involved in this pen. But if you like compare Kakimori wood nib, this is not a Kakimori, but if you compare like the wood one to the metal one, then you can tell like the difference. The weight does not seem like it's too crazy. I don't feel like it would tire out my hand. And then when you unpost it or just write with it unposted, it feels like a regular pen weight. And you can post, but it feels kind of back heavy for me. So I did ink up, well, I did put lotion on my hands, and I don't really see the lotion making like a bunch of prints on the pen, which is nice. So I'm gonna set this here so we can open up and look at the inks. Okay, so I have my ink, I have my tools, and some paper. So generally speaking, I always like to keep my my ink bottles in their original packaging because they just last longer. I have inks from like 10 years ago and they still work just fine because I've kept them in their packaging and they've been in a, a typical ambient temperature and I have not had any issues. And when you're buying packaging from a retailer, they are typically really good at, packaging everything, so you don't have to worry about that being damaged for the most part. Oh boy, this looks blue, but let's see if it changes. So this is the Three Musketeers. It is a pretty blue, but I feel a little bit deceived because I thought it was green and the swatch also looked green. I'm not going to hate because we all know I do love my blues. And it may be different on different paper. So this is the Life Bank paper. Okay, so let's try Raisin. Just want to make sure it's been mixed up. I like how it looks flat. I like how it's not too warm. So it's a little bit of bleeding because I had a lot of ink on my nib. But I do like, I think these colors even complement each other. But yeah, I'm just shocked that this is not more green leaning and it's blue. So which one am I going to ink up the pen with? So if you guessed it, I did go with the Three Musketeers. And that's mainly because this pen is an extra fine and I really like dark saturated lines. And I wasn't sure if I would get that with the brown ink. So let's check it out. Okay, first impressions. It writes beautifully. I actually didn't feel like the sweet spot on this being too narrow until I was trying to write something here and I had to rewrite it. But I think it was because I tend to twist my fountain pen sometimes, but I can keep it straight if I need to. But with my other Lamy 2000, I did find that the sweet spot was very narrow, meaning that whenever I would write and even the slightest tweak, it would just feel uncomfortable to write with. So you have to really keep your pen, your nib steady. It's very comfortable. The weight actually feels comfortable. I couldn't tell you if it still feels comfortable after writing for like half an hour to an hour, but so far it just feels natural. There's nothing that comes out at me or jumps out at me that it's a terrible anything. It's very comfortable. I don't find that my hand was slipping. Nothing feels painful, and it just writes really, really smooth. And for an extra fine, it's also very wet. It does write in reverse, but it wasn't as comfortable. It wasn't super scratchy. It was just like you can feel like if you were to continue to write reverse, it just doesn't feel natural. All right, well, I hope you found this video informative, interesting. Do you guys have a steel fountain pen? If you do, let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. Talk to you soon. Bye.